Wow, that is one of my favorite movies. One of my favorite quotes, and that's a scene. If you haven't seen the movie, The Rookie, it is a great, great family movie. Especially, it's like 15 years old or so. It's based on a true story. Jimmy Morris, I should say, with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, finally makes it to the major leagues. He's like 36 years old or something like that when he finally makes it. Great movie. And that's a quote from when he goes to see his father, who he's always had this struggle with, and with his relationship, and he his father gives him that advice. And the reason I'm putting that quote up is, we're going to take a twist on that, and that is that there comes a time in life when you have to quit doing what you want to do and start doing what you have to do, not what you're meant to do. And the reason we're talking today is because in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be shutting down the bulkvinyl.com operation. Now, we'll get into some specifics here in a minute, so bear with me. The last 9 years has been just an amazing journey for us. We will probably be honestly getting out of the craft market altogether for the most part. The summer of 2022, over a year and a half ago, we started planning this. The planning started even before I left my job at Cricket. I was starting to think about what I was going to do next. And then last summer, we rented the first office. And then a few weeks after that, one of the worst storms in history hit here in Southwest Florida, Hurricane Ian. And we were fortunate to not have very much direct damage. It didn't really affect us directly that much on our personal properties and our business and things, other than it put a delay on everything for several months. We lost a lot of momentum and delayed our launch time. We missed some of the first quarter sales. That led to the whole fiasco with one of our distributors and not being a distributor when we needed to be for heat transfer vinyl when we launched, and just a whole slew of things went against us. And I'm just stubborn, and we're stubborn, and we just wanted to plow ahead and make this happen. And unfortunately, it's just not happening the way we wanted it to. And the vinyl business, to do what we do, it takes up a certain amount of space. You have to have space for equipment. You have to have space to store the sheeted vinyl and the rolls, and where you're going to convert it at, the inventory and everything. And you've seen some of the pictures and video of the warehouse here and the warehouses that I ran before and those companies I built. And what it comes down to is the vinyl just isn't paying its rent. It takes up a certain amount of square footage, and you have to sell a certain amount of product to pay for that square footage. And what's happened, and what we didn't recognize, and what I've come to realize over the past several months, is that a lot of the materials market has been cannibalized by China and Amazon. And people, a few years ago, a lot of people, when people were buying their Cricut machines and Silhouette machines, whatever they were doing, they were buying quality product, like the Oracle and other, good quality products that are made in either usually Europe, United States, or Korea. Korea puts out a lot of the heat transfer vinyl products, especially the glitter and other specialty films. But in the last couple of years, Amazon has brought in a lot of product from China at prices that you just can't compete with. And then a lot of it's being subsidized by the Chinese government to purposely hurt our economy and our small businesses, because at the prices they're selling it at with the fees and everything, there's no profit to be made on it. And we have to deal with MAP pricing, so minimum advertised pricing, as you know, with Orifal and Polytape and any other major vendor usually in this market. They do not allow you to advertise the product below a certain price, and at least not publicly. Now, when you log into our website, it's a lot cheaper, but publicly you're not allowed to advertise below that. And when we aren't allowed to advertise below 5 to 6 times the price people can buy the stuff from China on Amazon for, it makes it hard to compete. So people are out here buying this HTV Ront and some of the other products, and I've expressed this many times, comparing it side by side to Thermoflex and some of the others, to me it feels like a piece of slab of rubber on the shirt. It is fairly easy to work with. It's probably comparable to most other HTV products as far as how easy it is to work with, but the feel of it on the shirt is heavy, in my opinion. The sublimation inks that are out there on Amazon are all from China, and many of them that aren't. Printers Jack and all these other ones are all Chinese inks that are just sublimation, generic sublimation inks that are put in the EcoTank bottles without regard to viscosity and other things, and color balance and everything. But when people, you have two factors at play. When someone wants to get into something like sublimation, they know nothing about it. They go to someone who knows a little bit about it, and that person to them is the expert. And when people are recommending these other Chinese products on Amazon, and then they sell the little bottles, so it looks like the price of it is cheaper than what we sell, and it's not that much cheaper. You just can't compete with those things. And then you have a couple influencers out there that keep pushing this stuff, and I've seen it, I've watched it, I've helped people troubleshoot things. I know, and you can talk about it all day long, you can talk about the quality and prove it to them, but in today's economy a lot of it comes down to price, and they will go that route, and that's just where we're at. The products we have aren't paying for the space they're taking up in a warehouse, so it's time for us to move on. Now, like I mentioned, the past 9 years has been an absolutely amazing journey to us. 9 years ago, we bought our first Cricut machine. This month, it might be to the day 9 years ago today. It's really close, because I joined the Big Cricut Facebook group like January 2020th or something like that. It's right around this time, and it was life-changing for us. At the time, we made products and sold them to pay our bills for several months, and we worked our butts off. We were doing craft shows, and selling things on Facebook before Facebook Marketplace was out there. I've got a video out there about how we made money with our Cricut if you want to go watch that. But the journey was amazing, and then that led to me starting the YouTube channel, which led to a bad release of Cricut software in April of 2015, and I was the first person that figured out what was wrong with it. And Cricut asked me to put out the video and the workaround, which caused my YouTube channel to take off, and the Inkscape videos, and it was just an amazing journey. And then a year later, the journey started to what then was 651vinyl.com and 143vinyl.com. After we rebranded, we started StarCraft, and then Bright Star Kids came over from Australia, and Tammy left her position to run that company. And then we ended up leaving those companies rather abruptly after some issues in late 2020. Went to work for Cricut for a year. That journey, when I look at it, I think about my life and all the things that I've done and accomplished, and all the different experiences that I've had. And this past 9 years has just been a whirlwind and a flurry of amazing times. And we have met and worked with some of the most amazing people I could ever imagine having in my life, from employees to customers to vendors and manufacturers and everybody. I never dreamed that something like that would put us in that kind of a position, that we bought this little craft machine, and that for the next decade would change our lives that much. And especially after the second day we had it, I put it in a box and told Tammy I didn't ever want to see it again. Go figure. But when it comes to bulkvinyl.com, when we began this journey, we had this. It appeared we had the support of just thousands and thousands of followers and customers, And while we have had that support, a lot more of it's been moral support than financial support. And believe me, we appreciate every bit of support we've had, regardless if it's been moral or financial support. But the moral support doesn't pay the bills. And like I said, the vinyl and other things that we've been doing just isn't paying the rent for the square footage. So now for the big questions I know you're going to ask is, what about our ink? That, it's our brand of ink. How are we going to get our ink? What about the courses we've subscribed to and our Master Crafter subscriptions and things? The bulk of the Master Crafter subscriptions were in the first couple of months of opening last year, and then there's been a few come in after that. Those courses are going to remain online. The TroyTube.net website will remain online. I don't know how much longer we'll keep the discussion threads going and things. I've got to evaluate some of those things, but those courses are going to remain there, so you'll still have access to those. The good news part of that is that even after your subscription is up at the end of the year, the way I laid that out was, as long as you were a subscriber, you would have access to the courses, and as long as I keep that site online, you're going to have access to them even after your subscription expires after the first year. I would imagine I'll keep that site online for at least another year or so. We'll see how that unfolds. Maybe it'll turn into something else. I don't know. But we'll leave that up so that you'll be able to access that. And if I, do get time to finish the Photoshop course and some others, I'll go ahead and put those courses out there. I enjoy doing this. I just still enjoy doing the instruction and things, but we'll see how much time that takes up and whether or not I have the time to invest for that. When it comes to the ink, we are going to make sure that you're able to replenish your ink and still buy the DPI sub ink, because it is, quite honestly, I feel it's the best ink on the market for the Epson EcoTank printers. It's well balanced. You do not have to make color adjustments when you print. And all the other ones talk about doing these things like turning off bidirectional printing and adjusting your colors and all that. You don't have to do any of that stuff with our ink. So whether we may continue selling it, or I may sell that brand off to someone else to make sure it's still available. Either way, you'll still be able to buy it. Now, right now, we're in a transition period where we're preparing to move out of this office very soon, hopefully, as soon as they secure a lease, someone to take over the lease and the office space, which things will be quick. And we are a little bit low on that ink right now. I'm probably not going to replenish my inventory of that until after we get moved. So be patient with me. You're not going to run out of ink and never be able to buy it again or anything, but we'll make arrangements for that and make sure you're able to get that ink and paper and supplies and everything, and have access to that. So what's next for Troy and Tammy? Well, I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, we started another company called Treeline Customs, and we're going to transition over and focusing on actually doing custom goods. Finished custom apparel, hats, jackets, hoodies, t-shirts, all those things. We are set up to do things like business cards, brochures, rack cards. We're going to be doing promotional items, like ink pens and back scratchers and things like that for businesses, and go back into more of the B2B sales instead of B2C, and do more business local. I think we have a good opportunity here. I think this area is going to really boom and explode over the next 5 years. And Southwest Florida, Fort Myers area, we're recovering from the hurricane. Things are moving along nicely. The islands are going to take a while, but that's probably not where most of our business will come from. It'll be more local businesses that will be growing, service companies and things, and we're going to pursue that side of business separately, and honestly probably getting out of the craft market entirely because of that. I want to be able to focus on that. When I do something, I'm kind of like I'm 120% all in on something when I go after it, and I focus on it and get it done. And shutting down the vinyl company will allow me to do that. We're hoping to find a place that's a little bit closer to our house. it's funny because down here, we're like 8 miles away from home. And that doesn't sound like much here. If you live in a big city, you'll understand what I'm talking about, because 8 miles is a long ways in most places. But down here, 8 miles takes you forever to get anywhere, especially this time of year when the snowbirds are down here, because they all like to, for some reason, get out and drive between 7 and 9 in the morning, and they all are in no hurry to get anywhere. And it's been raining a lot lately. This is an El Nino year, and so it is just a nightmare to get across town. And we're looking at a place that's really close to our house, that's only about 3 miles away, and doesn't involve any traffic really where it's located at. Just a little small out of the way place. We have the DTF printer, which is going to allow us to do the custom apparel, and I don't know if we're going to still sell custom transfers or not. We may. We'll see how some of this unfolds. Really have to focus on getting this business off the ground first, and see where that goes. This is, like I said, this has just been a great journey for us. We appreciate everyone's support and everything that you guys have done for us over the past 9 years. It's been an amazing experience, and the people that we've met, whether in person or online, has just been wonderful. I couldn't say enough about the industry and market that we've worked in and what we've witnessed. I mean, one of the things that I really miss was the philanthropy that we used to do, raising money for the soup kitchen that we did in Louisville. I think we raised like $12,000. The Veterans Organization, I think, was $15,000, plus we donated that RV to them that we had purchased. And then, that last year after the storm, you guys came through in a big way. And that's probably the thing that I will remember most about this company, honestly, was that getting started, that it started with that, and that you guys, it was several $1,000s. I think about $7,000 or $8,000 you guys donated, and we used that to rent a van and bring a bunch of supplies down and delivered them and handed them out to different people in different areas. And I've probably mentioned this before, but that was an amazing experience for me. I tell people all the time that I saw things that week that no human should see, and I get chill bumps every time I say that to somebody, because it takes me back. And I delivered these supplies to people in these areas that were hit pretty hard, and that people who didn't even need anything would come off of their porch or out of their driveway, walk to my car, even though they already had told me they didn't need anything, and they said, wait, they come to my car to thank me. And, here these people are trying to salvage little bits and pieces of their lives, and they took that time to come and thank me. And then I had several conversations with people, met some incredible people. People would, I think some people wanted to talk for 10 or 15 minutes just to have someone to talk to. And I think they all felt very alone. They thought they would be just on their own, and they weren't, because the community, the government, people around them all came together. And it was, just a really crazy experience. And, I thank you for your donations for that, because that was, if I could say that was the one thing that I will remember from this business, it was worth every minute of it. So what's this mean for my YouTube channel? I don't know. This getting out of the market is going to be a change for me. I said when I went to work for Cricket, I had to kind of give up some of my social media stuff for a while. I was so well known in the market at the time that if I said something, then people, thought I was talking on behalf of Cricket. I bought a 3D printer and I posted something, and everybody was like, "Hey, is Cricket making a 3D printer?" No. So I had to back away from social media for a while, and I at the time I said that I would be lying if I didn't say it was nice to have a little break from that, because I lived it so hard for several years. And I will see what the YouTube channel holds. Maybe we'll document some of the things that we do with our business. Maybe that'll help people out there and give them ideas of what they can do. I don't know. But we'll see where some of that goes and see how that business evolves. I said that when we started bulk vinyl that this business would evolve, we did everything we could. We reached a point where even in today's economy, advertising does not yield much of a return in this market. I cannot advertise and lose less money, and it's really disappointing to reach that point. But it is what it is. I mean, things evolve over time, things change, and in the past couple of years, it's definitely changed. And as long as when I went up to Printing United back in October to the trade show, I went up there with a specific goal to talk to several manufacturers about the Amazon issue, and they were all well aware of exactly what was happening. And a few of them told me the exact same thing, that there's apparently a lot of pressure on Amazon about doing this now, not just in crafting, but in a lot of different markets, because they're bringing products over from China on Amazon ships, and they're storing it in Amazon facilities, and apparently they have an arrangement with customs where they don't pay tariffs until it leaves their facility. And so they're almost bringing that stuff over here risk-free, and if it doesn't sell, they send it back. It's a shame that not only to watch Amazon do that to our own small businesses, because Amazon's gone through some different iterations over the years. Initially, I didn't like the idea that they were taking a lot of investment money from Wall Street and then using it to unfairly compete against businesses. And then they kind of turned into a marketplace where a lot of small businesses did really well selling on Amazon. Then they started to leverage that data, and then they've brought in their own products again, started to hurt small businesses again. It's been just kind of a roller coaster of how they've done some of that. And so those things have, while I buy stuff from Amazon probably weekly, it's disappointing to see those kind of things happen and play out. And then you have things like Temu and these other things selling stuff directly into the market, and they figured out how to ship things and get them here within like a week or 10 days. And everybody was used to like 1 or 2 day shipping, and then after COVID, it's like, well, if it gets here in a week, we're okay with that. So it's kind of back to reality again, and that's where it stands. So we'll probably be putting some things on sale to move them out of here. Working to try to hopefully sell a lot of our inventory to another business. We don't know where some of this stuff might go, as far as that goes. But keep your eye on the site and on the Facebook group. If we decide to do some closeouts on some things, we'll put it out there and try to get it out of here and give you guys an opportunity to pick up a few things at a good price, good deal, and move along. But again, we thank everyone for their support, whether it was financial or moral or otherwise. And we thank all of our customers and followers, our vendors, our manufacturers. And this is a little bit bittersweet, but it's reached a point where we want to get this behind us and be able to focus on a new adventure and move on and enjoy our life down here in paradise that we moved here for. And hopefully over the next few years we'll see where we can take a new business to. Again, we appreciate everything, and if you have any questions or comments, post them down below.